the moon, and the oceans, bound together for eternity. Now, an unprecedented finding could mean the moon is more than a tidal force. Is it guiding the lives of an otherworldly creature?
Sharks have these amazing senses that we cannot even grasp.
A groundbreaking investigation.
Some of the most interesting questions are about what they do when no one's watching.
Using the latest technology.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Could connect scalloped hammerhead migration to the moon and change what we know about sharks forever. Despite being 240,000 miles away, the glowing satellite we call the moon shapes our world. Its orbit causes the ebb and flow of the tides and influences the lives of millions of animals. Phases of the moon are linked to the mating of crabs. Lunar light guides billions of zooplankton as they migrate across the ocean. And its gravitational pull influences the behavior and spawning of fish. Yet, lunar forces have never been tied to the marine animal that rules our oceans: sharks.
For other marine animals, the moon has been shown to be very important, but for sharks, there's no connection to the moon phase for any species.
But Dr. Pelayo Salinas de Leon of the Charles Darwin Foundation believes that the secret life and migrations of the scalloped hammerhead could be synced with the moon.
If our hypothesis is right, this will be the first ever for any shark species.
The scalloped hammerhead is one of many migratory sharks around the world. And if Pelayo is correct about what triggers their migrations, this study could unlock the mysteries of other shark species. To prove his theory, he'll tag and track pregnant hammerhead females on their reproductive migration around the tropical Eastern Pacific, a nearly 2,500-mile odyssey. If their movements correlate to the phases of the moon, our scientific understanding of sharks could change forever. The investigation starts 600 miles off the coast of South America, at an archipelago born of fire. These are the Galapagos Islands, home to some of the strangest species imaginable. From blood-sucking birds to algae-loving iguanas, these islands have transformed our understanding of life on Earth. And this volcanic hotspot attracts an even more alien creature. The scalloped hammerhead, known to the world for their iconic silhouette. These majestic sharks can grow up to 14 feet long and weigh up to 350 pounds.
We are here to prove that the full moon during these months triggered these epic migrations of pregnant females from the Galapagos to nursery areas located in the coast of Central and South America.
And there's no better place to find these secretive animals than the islands of Darwin and Wolf.
Darwin Island, or Darwin's Arch, is the epicenter of the hammerhead shark universe. It is the best dive location on the planet. Like the Eiffel Tower is the symbol of the city of love, this arch is the symbol of the city of sharks.
Named for Charles Darwin, whose trip aboard the HMS Beagle made him famous, these volcanic hotspots are truly unique.
The moment you jump in the water, you are surrounded by sharks. And it's actually one of the few places that are left in our blue planet where you can still be in the water with hundreds of sharks.
With the full moon just a week away and swarms of pregnant hammerheads waiting, there's no time to waste.
You all have been here before? Yes, keep in mind that we are in a very isolated place. We're in the middle of nowhere, so help is very far away. Also, let's keep an eye on the other sharks.
To collect the tracking data, Pelayo and his team employ space-age technology, satellite tags.
So we use these darts that will get through the skin of the shark. They will lock under the skin, and then the tag will float attached to this tether to the shark. And every time that the shark gets close to the surface, this little antenna transmits its position to a network of satellites that are orbiting around Earth, and we know the whereabouts of that specific individual.
The story told by these 15 satellite tags could prove Pelayo's theory that their epic migrations are triggered by the moon. But the tags only reveal their location when hammerheads swim to the surface. Most of their lives and movements spent in the deep open ocean remain a mystery to science.
To me, some of the most interesting questions about scalloped hammerheads are questions about what they do when no one's watching.
Based in Florida, conservationist and biologist Dr. Catherine McDonald
We're gonna put a NOAA tag in this one.
is one of many scientists contributing data to the global puzzle surrounding the secret lives of scalloped hammerheads.
Ready when you are. Scalloped hammerheads are large-bodied migratory hammerheads that are found all over the world in tropical and subtropical seas. Hammerheads have this really expanded head called the cephalofoil with an eye out on either end. If you want to identify a scalloped hammerhead, the things that you're looking for are the more ornate scalloping on the front of that cephalofoil. Great hammerheads really have much less sort of detailing on the front of their heads.
With eyes on either side of their bizarrely shaped head, hammerheads actually have the greatest field of view of any shark, with a near 360-degree field of vision. But for scientists, there isn't yet a clear picture of the lives of scalloped hammerheads or other migratory sharks when they're away from island hotspots.
Scalloped hammerheads and really all migratory sharks are more mysterious to us than sharks that spend a lot of their time in coastal environments, just because we have so much less experience with them. We encounter them so much less often.
Hammerheads are just one of many migratory shark species. Tiger sharks, bull sharks, and the mighty great white all traverse the world's oceans. These species are under serious threat as they navigate an open ocean full of lethal hazards.
If you want to protect a shark, one of the first questions is where? Because especially for large migratory sharks like scalloped hammerheads that often travel long distances, it's going across a lot of national jurisdictions, and we have pretty limited agreements on how to manage marine resources. And so one of the major challenges is knowing what areas we would need to protect in order to conserve shark population.
Understanding the biological superhighways sharks take and what drives their migrations gives scientists the tools to protect them.
Preliminary satellite data suggests that migrations are typically undertaken alone, or possibly in small groups, but we don't yet have either the number of data points or the resolution on their behavior to answer questions globally about what they're up to. There's so much that we have to learn and understand about sharks, and what scalloped hammerheads are up to is a wonderful mystery.
A mystery that may soon be unlocked. The scalloped hammerhead is critically endangered. If Pelayo's hypothesis is correct, learning more about their secret lives and movements could be the key to saving them and with further study, other migratory species.
By gathering this data, by better understanding the migrations they take, hopefully we'll be able to increase the protection not only around the Galapagos, but through their entire migratory pathway.
The data he collects here could be a game changer for conservation. But to prove his theory, he'll have to get state-of-the-art satellite tags on the shy scalloped hammerhead. Easier said than done. It takes a keen eye and a steady hand to safely tag the pregnant females.
One down, 14 to go.
After 13 successful attachments, phase 1 of the mission is complete. But it's not only hammerheads lurking in these waters.
You're looking down, and all of a sudden, boom. This gigantic 13 feet, 1,000 pounds tiger shark.
With all tracking devices deployed, the team hits high alert as an adult tiger shark swims by.
This big tiger shark just came out of nowhere just to check us out. The moment I see a shark, I just do everything I can to, get a glimpse of their space and of their habitat and just share with these magnificent top predators.
Hammerheads may have the numbers, but there's no question of who's the boss with a tiger in town.
Darwin Island is not known for this tiger shark population. We've seen tigers on very seldom occasions.
The tigers are drawn to the Galapagos this time of year for a specific reason: the green sea turtle.
Sea turtles, they nest during a specific moon. Tiger sharks know this, so they time their arrival to the Galapagos to the nesting season of the green turtles to have a bit of a feast of turtle sashimi.
It's a reminder that the full moon is only days away. If the theory is correct, the pregnant females should soon begin their journey. If Palaio can successfully track their migration and time its course by the lunar cycle, this will be the first ever evidence of shark migration sharing a connection with the moon. All he can do now is watch and wait. The nutrient-rich upswells rising from this volcanic island provide a sanctuary for schools of hammerheads. Mature females like this one are growing up to 40 pups. To protect her young from other predators, she will migrate all the way to the coast of Central America to give birth, ensuring the survival of the next generation. She repeats this reproductive migration again and again, traveling over 120,000 miles in her 30 to 40-year lifetime. The same distance as a halfway trip to the moon. If Palaio is correct, it could be the full moon's increased light, the ebb and flow of the tides, or some other cosmic force, causing the sharks to sync their migrations to the lunar cycle. The full moon emerges. As if on cue, sharks take off. Palaio and the team track their movements in near real time. swimming 30 miles a day.
So now we are Big Brother. Even as we sit here, I'm receiving messages saying that 11 out of the 13 satellite tags that we deployed on the pregnant females are already transmitting. So we're going to have a lot of data points that before we didn't have.
It's a successful start to the study. But the journey for these mothers has only just begun. To navigate, they rely on a supersensory organ called the ampullae of Lorenzini. This organic GPS will allow them to sense electromagnetic fields emanating from a chain of undersea volcanic mountain ranges known as the Cocos Ridge. But the open ocean is a gauntlet for the mothers. And there are harsh reminders of the dangers sharks face, even here in protected waters.
So any shade in the ocean attracts the smaller fish, and then the smaller fish attracts the bigger fish.
This is a fish aggregating device, or FAD. Equipment used by fishermen to attract and catch fish in the open ocean. All too often, passing scalloped hammerheads end up ensnared, injured, or worse.
Overfishing and illegal fishing practices is the biggest threat to the conservation of the scalloped hammerhead shark, and this is why they are critically endangered. The moment they leave Darwin, the moment they cross the boundary of the Galapagos Marine Reserve, they are completely vulnerable.
Beyond the Galapagos' 40 miles of protected waters, the open ocean is full of lethal obstacles.
There is curtains of hooks, there is fishing nets everywhere, and they have to take these migrations to mangroves through unprotected waters and survive the journey. So with our data, we hope to achieve the knowledge that is necessary to tell the decision makers, you need to establish, like a fishing ban during this time of the year, or you have to protect these biological corridors so we can protect hammerheads across the entire life cycle.
With the future of the species on the line, groundbreaking studies like this are critical. If Palaio can tie the moon phases to scalloped hammerhead migrations, it could unlock the secrets of what triggers the movements of other migratory sharks and help protect the shark superhighways that are key to survival. Almost 400 miles into their journey, satellite data indicates the sharks are nearing a jewel of the tropical Eastern Pacific and a safe haven from fishing hooks, Cocos Island.
It's like Cocos is like a stepping stone between the Galapagos and the mainland. So we are at a checkpoint during their epic migrations.
Cocos Island has been frequented by sailors and pirates for hundreds of years. But the real treasure here lies below the surface. The fact that some of the tagged pregnant hammerheads would pass by Cocos is no surprise. Decades of protection from fishing has made Cocos the big bang when it comes to biodiversity.
Here you can literally dive the ocean of the past, but also they enter the reef cleaning stations.
Cleaning stations are a gift to expecting mothers making a pit stop here in the protected waters of Cocos. Tiny reef fish swarm to service the shark by removing dead skin and parasites.
It is this very symbiotic experience where fish get food that they otherwise wouldn't have access to, and larger animals and fish get cleanings that help make their lives better. Everybody's happy about it.
Hammerheads flourish in this sanctuary, where they can feed, clean, and socialize. To mate, the most sexually dominant males and females pair off. But this behavior is typically unseen until now.
This video was actually filmed here at Cocos Island by a very lucky dive master.
In 2009, a diver with Undersea Hunter captured incredible behavior. This is the only known recording of scalloped hammerheads mating, and the first time it has been seen by a global audience.
So the first part of the video shows both sharks in the middle of the water column, just starting to do their thing. Then the dive master obviously realizes what is going on and about the significance of this encounter. And at that point, the male has already grabbed the pectoral fin of the female with his mouth.
Without hands, sharp teeth are one of the few ways sharks can hang on.
And when this happened, they literally crashed into the seafloor as the male was copulating with the female.
Sharks need water passing over their gills constantly to breathe.
They have to breathe, right? They have to start swimming, otherwise they will suffocate.
As they freefall, oxygen-rich water is forced through their gills. It's thought that mating typically takes place in the deep waters of the open ocean. So there's more time to finish the act before crashing into the sea floor. In the shallower waters of Cocos, these sharks could have drowned, but risked it all to conceive the next generation of the species.
Mating, gestation, birth, when you're asking how to protect a species, one of the biggest things you can do is figure out how to protect those key events.
The sheer amount of hungry sharks in Cocos means it's a dangerous place to give birth. It is almost a month or full lunar cycle since their journey began, and the pregnant females are finally arriving at their ultimate destination, the shark nurseries of Central America.
Shark nurseries are typically places where little sharks can find enough food to grow faster, or places where little sharks have a reduced risk of predation. Ideally both.
Witnessing a shark birth is even more rare than mating. But tracking data suggests hammerheads are drawn to give birth in complex mangrove systems, where rivers meet the sea.
Mangroves are desirable both because there tends to be a lot of life around them, so there's hopefully abundant prey for juveniles, and also mangroves provide structure that juveniles can shelter in from risk of predation.
Elena Zanella leads Mission Tiburon, an organization dedicated to protecting vital shark nurseries.
We are in Golfo Dulce, located in the South Pacific of Costa Rica in Central America. Here we discovered an important nursery ground for the scalloped hammerhead shark.
Scalloped hammerheads give birth to as many as 40 pups. The mothers will soon head back out into the open ocean, leaving the babies to fend for themselves.
They are so fragile, so vulnerable, and so cute, actually.
What starts as movements through the mangroves will eventually become the same open ocean migrations their mothers endure. But hidden in the mangroves, the early lives of shy baby hammerheads remains largely unseen.
53 centimeters total length.
It took almost 10 years of tagging and data collection to identify and establish Central America's first juvenile shark sanctuary here.
Probably 1 week is newborn. We needed to focus our efforts also in the coast,
It's a female, it's a little one.
where females give birth and the juveniles spend part of their life. They are a critical site for the species.
To save the hammerhead and other migratory sharks, scientists turn to innovative new technologies in the hopes of supercharging the process of identifying nurseries. What we know about early hammerhead life is murky at best.
All the time people ask us to dive with the hammerheads in the Gulf of Dulce to try to have a visual estimation about the abundance. But it's very difficult.
Now, high-powered sonar equipment is poised to give Elena and her team a unique view of what happens beneath the surface here in Golfo Dulce.
This technology is very innovative for us. It's the first time that we use. The sonar is a better tool for us to find the hammerheads in the water.
If perfected, sonar equipment could help in identifying critical environments, tracking and predicting movements, and documenting new behavior.
For me, the dream is to see the group of the newborns hunting around the drones. I think it could be the first time, so it's very exciting for us.
But the first step is to test if identifying hammerheads by sonar is even possible.
More fish.
The mangroves allow baby hammerheads to hide from both larger predators and scientists.
I wasn't very good with the video games. We see a lot of fish, even with this amazing tool. It's difficult to find the hammerhead shark. ¿Ese ven?
He is
fast, huh?
very fast. Yes, ese es uno. I think this is one.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally, there's no doubt about it. A baby hammerhead caught on sonar.
I think because of the movement, you can see the tail, and also with the hammerhead, in some cases, we can see the shape of the hammerhead, so it's very particular. It's the hammerhead shark. It's beautiful, yeah.
It's a first glimpse, but it could be a game changer. If scientists can find sharks, they can tag them. And if they can tag them, they can track them. Sonar could eventually be vital to finding and protecting shark habitats around the world.
So it's a great start for us. It is important to identify the critical, essential habitat for the species and try to protect this habitat.
In a few short years, these baby hammerheads will leave the safety of the nursery and follow their parents' path into the open ocean. While they fight to survive, their mothers are already on the return leg of their migratory journey. At Cocos, Pelayo is still tracking his tagged sharks to see how their return may coincide with the lunar calendar. Data showing their journey only comes in every few days, when the sharks are near the surface. With so much of their secret lives spent along the deep undersea mountain ranges, their behavior and movements remain a mystery. Could they be affected by the moon's pull, even in the dark depths of the tropical eastern Pacific? there's only one way to get the full picture of what they're really up to down there.
So we are going down to the deep world of the hammerheads. Our hope today is to try to get a sneak peek of the life of these amazing creatures when they go deep.
Pelayo is boldly going where few have gone before.
This is one of the most exciting parts of the dive.
He's hoping to witness unique behavior far from the light of the sun or moon.
And at 45 meters deep, we cross the thermocline. This is the mix of warmer surface waters and colder, deeper waters.
Okay, top C, come check, how copy?
Copy.
All stats are good, we're going down.
Hammerheads have been recorded at depths of over 2,000 feet.
It gets even darker and darker until we reach a point where you can hardly see the surface light. And everything is pitch black. That's when it gets exciting, right? And for us humans, it's the most harsh environment that you can experience on Earth.
Hammerhead secrets are hidden in these extreme conditions. The dive would be far too dangerous for humans without incredible equipment like this submersible.
So you can make a comparison like landing on the surface of the moon. The big difference here is, where we're trying to search for the most basic form of life in the moon or in Mars. Here, this wall is packed with life. So for me, this is 10 times better than going to the moon.
While this dark world is teeming with life, hammerheads are hard to find.
Ooh, big grouper.
Maybe we'll just sit down somewhere and see what happens.
Ooh la la,
Mabula.
mabula.
It's a long way from the moon above, but lunar influence is intrinsically linked to life in the oceans, even in the pitch black.
Oof, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
Try to change the spot.
Yeah.
Maybe see what happens.
In fact, changes in light could hold the key to how the moon impacts sea life.
During the full and new moon, the tides are stronger, and obviously the intensity of the light changes as the moon cycle goes on. The light intensity during the day and night also changes with the moon, right? So it is not strange to think that it can act as a timing mechanism or as a trigger for many animals to undertake migrations or do specific behaviors.
He's not very happy.
Whether scared off by the submersible or just being typically shy, hammerheads are nowhere to be seen.
Do we have a clear surface to start our final ascent? Copy that, we are 3.2 meters, all stats are good.
It's going to take big ideas and new technology for a chance at an unprecedented look into the mysterious lives of hammerheads in the dark, open ocean. A 15,000-pound submarine doesn't offer the stealth it takes to observe the deep-sea secret lives of the scalloped hammerhead. So Pelayo devises a brand new and more subtle tool to follow them into the depths.
This is our prototype tow camera. It is a new design that we just developed. It has a high-definition camera. It also packs one of these depth and temperature sensors, so we know how deep and in what water temperature the animal moves in.
He hopes this new tech will allow him to witness unseen behaviors and gather new data that may inform his moon hypothesis. The plan is to attach this custom camera to the dorsal fin of a scalloped hammerhead.
It might not look very sophisticated, but it's an amazing piece of equipment.
One key behavior Pelayo hopes to witness is how hammerheads hunt. Could predation be affected by the lunar cycle too?
Hammerheads have specialized adaptations that make them incredible hunters, especially of bottom-dwelling animals like rays. One piece of the benefit of that elongated cephalofoil is increased maneuverability. So they have an incredible turning radius. They can really turn on a dime. And they're using those ampullae within that cephalofoil, both to detect signals from prey that are buried in the sand that intend to be hidden. And we know that they'll in fact use that hammer to pin down rays and take bites out of their wings. But there's a lot that we don't know about their foraging once they move into deeper offshore environments.
Tagging data suggests the vast majority of hunts take place at night and at great depths. Challenging conditions for both scientists and equipment.
So there is a number of uncertainties there, but we are confident.
If the tow camera works, it could provide new insights into the secret deep-sea world of the scalloped hammerhead. Once the camera is deployed, galvanic release timers will automatically detach it after 2 hours underwater.
This animal is going to go anywhere. So you can just shoot off, and then the moment the tag releases from the animal, it's going to float to the surface. This little antenna is going to transmit a VHF signal, and then we'll need to go there with an antenna to find this blue camera in the middle of the big blue ocean.
Success. Pelayo and his team have 2 hours until the timers release the tow camera. The race is on to retrieve the device before an unforgiving current sweeps it away.
Are you getting any signal from anywhere?
I think that way.
If the scientists can't pick up a signal, they will not only lose a brand new piece of technology, but a rare opportunity. The clock is ticking as the search for the tow camera continues into the night.
Estamos muy cerca. Nelson, left.
Tow camera footage of hammerhead movements and hunting behaviors at depth could give scientists a first ever glimpse at their secret lives and provide insights into how sharks may be influenced by the moon.
Podemos avanzar en rumbo 25 grados. Dale a proa, Nelson. Un poco más a vapor, Nelson. Woohoo! Got it.
Yeah.
Fortune is on their side.
Can't wait to watch this.
I know.
And hopes are high. If the technology works, Pelayo may see the hammerhead's deep, dark world for the very first time. Despite their best efforts, the tow camera test is a failure. The camera detached shortly after deployment. Their lives in the depths of the ocean remain a mystery.
So we tried, it didn't work. We've learned a good number of very valuable lessons. We will have to reinforce the attachment methods. And also, I think we need to work a little bit more on the hydrodynamics of the design.
Unlike this prototype, satellite tags are tried and true. the hammerheads are finally returning to Darwin and finishing their migratory loop. It's been many months and almost 2,500 miles. They've endured an arduous journey as they've swum along undersea mountain ranges, given birth to the next generation, and survived a gauntlet of fishing hooks. By analyzing each and every data point from the tagged sharks, Pelayo is finally able to compare the timing of their movements with the lunar cycle.
So we have some exciting results. This track is like the perfect thing that we could hope for. The date that the animal left the Galapagos, it was around a full moon. This one, which is very similar, again, the animals are moving east during a full moon. Our data shows that out of the 10 sharks that made it close to the continental coast after leaving the Galapagos, around 8 of those left on a full moon, which obviously is more than a coincidence. You start seeing a pattern there, which corroborates our hypothesis that there is a link with the full moon.
After months of tracking these females, the mysterious lives of scalloped hammerheads are finally becoming clearer. Incredibly, Pelayo's data confirms the key moments in the migration of pregnant hammerheads do sync with the full moon.
I mean, fantastic. You couldn't ask for anything better. For a shark species, this will be the first time that a migration is connected to the face of the moon.
Whether it's tidal pull, the light of the full moon, or some other mysterious lunar force that launches hammerhead migrations, this amazing revelation about one of the ocean's most mysterious creatures raises even more questions that only time and study can answer.
Sharks have these amazing senses that we cannot even grasp. It is just mind-blowing that, you know, the same way they can read the electromagnetic fields to guide their migration, they also have this connection with a moon that is, you know, orbiting around Earth in outer space to tell them to go from one place to the next. It is just mind-blowing. It's really cool from a scientific point of view, but also has big implications for these species.
The data-backed theory that scalloped hammerheads sync their migrations with the lunar cycle could unlock our understanding of other migratory species, like tigers, great whites, and bull sharks. The ability to predict the timing and movements of these magnificent sharks could help marine scientists like Pelayo protect biological corridors.
The high hope is that, you know, by linking these moms with the moon, with the babies, with these transboundary migrations, hopefully we can get the governments or even the international community to implement stronger and more ambitious plans to save sharks from extinction.
This is only the beginning of understanding the connection between migratory sharks and the moon. What we learn next could change the future for sharks entirely.